Hello, YouTube. You know the deal. It is week 13 of the NFL. Teams are going to start clinching playoff stuff very soon. It's going to get really important. So click that noti bell for all of your weekly NFL recaps. We got every game but Monday been played. I don't even know how much of this Monday game I'm going to watch with the whole in-season tournament thing going on with the NBA. I don't know how good of a game that's going to be either. It's probably not going to be great. But we're just going to get through every game that has been played so far, and yeah. So the first game I want to talk about is the Seahawks and the Cowboys. So Dak Prescott throws for 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys extend their home win streak to 14 with a 6-point win over the Seahawks. And this was actually one of the better primetime games we've had in a little bit. Last night was a pretty good game, well, especially for Thursday night football, because usually Prime gets some pretty shitty games. But I don't know. So trailing Seattle in the fourth quarter, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys knew there was no way they could extend their NFL record of 5 consecutive 20-point wins at home to start the season. So they decided to do it the old-fashioned way, win the hard way. I mean, Geno Smith played pretty good. 23 for 41, 334 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, though. I mean, when you're playing against someone that's been as efficient as Dak, throwing 29 for 41, 299 yards and 3 touchdowns, I guess you can't really afford to give up any turnovers against a team like this. But yeah, man, Dak is insane. I think Dak might win MVP this year. Tony Pollard and Charbonnet each had a rush touchdown. DK Metcalf had 6 catches, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns. If you had him in fantasy, you were going absolutely insane. I think he had, like 35 fantasy points or something. Depends on your PPR, of course. But CeeDee Lamb, he had a nice little receiving touchdown. Yeah, really good game offensively. Both teams gave it their all, and the Cowboys ended up winning. I feel controversial even talking about this next game. We have the game that just took place last night, the Chiefs and the Packers game. I'm a Packers fan, so obviously I'm just going to get the Packers game out of the way before doing all the other earlier slate games. I don't know. Jordan Love throws 3 touchdown passes. The Packers beat the Chiefs by 8 for their 3rd straight win. We're looking for a playoff push, baby. Let's see. We're guaranteed what is it? We could possibly win 11 games this season. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's still possible. We're guaranteed a 6-win season, I guess. But Jordan Love showed the Kansas City Chiefs just how much he's learned since the last time he faced them. And, yeah, man. The Hail Mary fell incomplete. There was a lot of insane missed calls. This was some of the worst officiating we've seen all year. I mean, officiating has been really bad in the NFL this year and just in the last probably 5 years. But that Hail Mary was not a pass interference. I don't know how you can get a pass interference call on a fucking Hail Mary. It doesn't happen. No one calls a pass interference on Hail Mary. There's a missed pass interference call. I will give it to you on MVS. It was underthrown, but I guess it was a PI. Isaac Pacheco threw a punch and people thought he shouldn't get ejected. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get him out of the game. Dre Greenlaw got ejected hours earlier for doing the same thing. Terrible throw from Mahomes on that pick. I just don't know. I mean, Mahomes was not even out of bounds when they hit him, and they called that stupid penalty. I just don't understand it. Like, a player is still in play. It's still a live ball. Why not hit the guy? But anyway, Mahomes, 21 for 33, 210 yards. He threw for a touchdown, but he also threw that stupid pick. So he doesn't really deserve to win the fucking game. Like, that was a dumb throw. Jordan Love didn't make any throws like that. I mean, dude threw 25 for 36, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes clearly got outplayed. I don't know what else to say. Pacheco had a great game, though, before getting ejected. 18 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Kelce had 4 catches for 81 yards, while my boy Romeo Doubs, great game, 4 catches for 72. I know I talked about that game in great depth because it was a really important game for the Packers and just for the week in general. Man, we've had some ugly games this year, but I don't think anything is comparing to this Chargers-Patriots game. I don't know what the hell I just watched. With a pair of field goals, the Chargers beat the Patriots in the latest hapless quarterback. They won by 6 points. All they needed was 2 field goals. That was the only thing that was scored the entire game. I can't even imagine if I went to that game. And whether that tormented the offenses, at least the Los Angeles Chargers had their kicking game to fall back on and win the game. I mean, some pretty clutch plays later on. It was anyone's game, though. I don't know. Patriots had a couple good plays. Man, Quentin Johnston has been dropping some huge passes this year, and at least they won the game in this case, but, man, Khalil Mack has been going crazy this year. I mean, people are sleeping on Khalil Mack and what a season he's been having. It's just because the Chargers are so bad, no one really cares. Justin Herbert threw 22 for 37, while Bailey Zappi threw 13 for 25 with 141 yards. Keenan Allen had 5 catches for 58 yards, and Devontae Parker had 4 catches for 64. That's really all there is to talk about this game. So now we get to the Cardinals and the Steelers game. The Cardinals were looking quite impressive. James Conner scores twice against his old team. Kenny Pickett gets hurt as the Cardinals beat the Steelers by 14. Hopefully Kenny Pickett is alright. I don't think they can really afford having a QB get injured. Forced to endure an unexpected second halftime after the skies opened up around Acrisure Stadium in the third quarter, the Arizona Cardinals retreated to the locker room and tried to stay loose. And there were like 3 weather delays in this game. It was quite interesting. James Conner had a nice tutty, or 2 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson had a nice tutty. Shout out to James Conner. Kenny Pickett had that ankle injury again. Hopefully he's okay. Cardinals were playing really good on both sides of the ball, though. And Kyler Murray, 13 for 23, 145 yards and a touchdown. Mitch Trubisky came in with the injury and actually played pretty solid for what he was given. 11 for 17, 117 yards and a touchdown. James Conner had quite the day, having 2 rush touchdowns on the day. Trey McBride played great, and I unfortunately benched him for Taysom Hill, which wasn't a terrible pick, but the man had 8 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown, while George Pickens had 4 catches for 86 yards. Not really much of a game, but yeah. Colts-Titans was probably one of the better games of the week. This was pretty entertaining. Gardner Minshew throws for a touchdown in overtime as the Colts win their 4th straight. They beat the Titans by 3. The Indianapolis Colts may start slow, but they always end up sneaking into the playoffs, and that's kind of what happens. Huge catch for Alec Pierce to set up for the Pittman touchdown. Titans missed that PAT. That was kind of costly, I guess. Colts had the return block punt for a touchdown. The Titans got pick 2 on the conversion. There was a lot of interesting plays. There was that nasty injury on Stonehouse for the Titans. Hopefully he's okay. That one sucked. It kind of hurt to watch. But Gardner Minshew, 26 for 42, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was on his game, man. He was playing some great football. Will Levis threw for 224 yards and had a touchdown. Derrick Henry had 2 rush touchdowns. Michael Pittman had a touchdown. D-Hop had 5 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. That's my boy on fantasy, baby. Let's go. Good game for D-Hop. But yeah, it was a really good game. I watched a decent amount of this game. This was one of the earlier window games that I decided to tune into. So, yeah. Next, we have the Broncos-Texans. Honestly, another good game. Nico Collins has 191 yards receiving. Ward saves the game with an interception as the Texans beat the Broncos by 5. Huge game for the Texans defense, and obviously D'Amico Ryans is going to be a defensively oriented coach. These are 2 pretty solid teams in the NFL playing each other here. This was a good game. Nico Collins had the best game of his career, and the Texans defense came up huge to help Houston hand Denver its first loss since mid-October. Yeah, man, Jimmy Ward, huge interception. Stroud had some nice throws. Courtland Sutton's been having a great year. Texans, I don't know. Tank Dell, season-ending injury. That is so unfortunate. I mean, that really sucks. Obviously, the Texans have other targets on the team, but to lose a guy like Tank Dell is just horrible to me. But Russell Wilson, 15 for 26, 186 yards and a touchdown. He threw 3 fucking interceptions. And when you're going up against a rookie C.J. Stroud, who's throwing 16 for 27, 274 yards and a tutty, it's really hard to win that game. I mean, you're not going to win the game. Damian Pierce had a rush touchdown. Cortland Sutton had 2 catches, 77 yards and a tutty. You get Nico freaking Collins, 9 catches, 191 yards and a touchdown. One of the better receiving performances of the week. I think he ended up racking up like 34, 35 points or something. But wow, Nico Collins. This Texans team is magical. It's so fun to watch them every single week. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this game wasn't looking very promising, the Lions and Saints at first, but the Saints made it a pretty good one down the stretch. Sam Laporta has a career day for the Lions. Saints QB Derek Carr gets hurt as Detroit wins by 5. For a rookie tight end from a college program not known for its offensive prowess, Sam Laporta has been a quick study in the NFL and is playing a prominent role in what could be a special season for the Detroit Lions. Jameson Williams had a nice little trick play touchdown. Kamara set the franchise record for the Saints for rushing touchdowns. I mean, they've had Reggie Bush, but I don't know. I think Kamara might be better. I don't know. Derek Carr took a huge hit. He's been getting hurt a lot this season. It really sucks. But Taysom Hill had a nice touchdown from a fantasy team. Yeah, shout out to Alvin Kamara. Got a touchdown. Alvin Kamara is really fucking good. He's a beast. I mean, not really much to say. Jared Goff, 16 for 25, 213 yards, 2 tutties. You get a 17 for 22 performance out of Derek Carr, throwing 226 yards, a touchdown. He did throw a pretty costly pick, though. I don't know. Jahmyr Gibbs played really good. 8 carries for 60. That's a pretty efficient night or day. Taysom Hill had a rush touchdown. Sam Laporta had 9 catches, 140 yards, and a tutty, while Chris Olave had 5 catches for 119 yards. So yeah, shout out to the Lions for securing the dub after that pretty bad Thanksgiving loss to the Packers. A game that absolutely no one cared about, Falcons and Jets. Shout out to the Falcons for bringing themselves back to 500, though. That's great. Desmond Ridder and the Falcons do just enough to pull out an ugly 5-point win over the struggling Jets. The Jets are only guaranteed a 1 win above 500 season, and I feel like if they lose another game this season, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. The rain was falling, penalty flags were flying, and the Atlanta Falcons just kept slogging away. Jets offense, it was terrible. I don't even know what I'm watching here. Trevor Siemian got a fumble forced. Late turnover for the Falcons to win the game. Tim Boyle got benched. He threw a terrible pick. I don't know why the hell the Jets think that Tim Boyle is going to be good for them. Jets they had a flea flicker. They had a couple big plays. I don't know who the hell Michael Pruitt is, but he had a touchdown. I don't even know. This game was so ugly. Desmond Ridder threw 121 yards and a tutty. Tim Boyle, 14 for 25, 148 yards, but he threw that terrible pick. Is there really much to talk about? Kyle Pitts, 4 catches for 51 yards. Xavier Gibson, the freaking the kick returner for the Jets, had 5 catches for 77. Shout out to him for having a solid day. But I don't know. I don't know what the hell that game was. Dolphins Commanders, another game I didn't really care to watch because I knew how this was going to go down. Dolphins absolutely destroyed the Commanders as expected. Tyreek Hill has 2 touchdowns as the Dolphins beat the Commanders by 30. They're 9-3 for the first time since 2001. So they've had some really good starts to the season in the last couple of years, but this is still their best. Tyreek Hill wasn't surprised to see just one defender covering him. After catching a 78-yard touchdown pass, he was plenty thankful. Those were 2 in the first half, too. Amazing stuff. A-Chain had some touchdowns. Sam Howell had some nice rush touchdown. Shout out to A-Chain, shout out to Tyreek Hill. Andrew Van Ginkel had a pick 6, I think. Tua, 18 for 24, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a super efficient game. Sam Howell, 12 for 23, 127 yards. He did throw a pick. It doesn't really matter. You're playing the Miami Dolphins. It's not going to end well for you. Brian Robinson had 70 carries for 53 yards, while Devin A-Chain, 2 touchdowns. He's kind of back into his element like he was earlier in the season. Tyreek Hill had 5 catches, 157 yards. I think that's like 31 yards a catch for 2 touchdowns. And Curtis Samuel had 4 catches for 65 yards. So Dolphins are just super dominant. I mean, people will say they're like a fraudulent team. They can't beat good teams, but they're 9-3. The NFL sets up the schedules for a reason. They're 9-3. Just get over yourselves. Here we are with the Panthers Buccaneers. Mike Evans scores on a 75-yard touchdown. He tops 1,000 yards for the 10th straight year. For half of my life, this man has been getting 1,000 receiving yards every year. That's ridiculous. The Bucs beat the Panthers by 3. Mike Evans, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's amazing. He probably will be in the Hall of Fame. Mike Evans sprinted between 2 defenders into the open, snagged a pass approaching midfield, and took off for the end zone. Made some history. Huge touchdown for him. I mean, it's really what helped them win the game. I'm not sure how the hell they only beat the Panthers by a field goal, but yeah. Bryce Young, he did kind of cost the game with that pick, though, I will say. Brian Burns got a little heated, got ejected. Chris Godwin had a rush touchdown. Chuba Hubbard has actually been playing pretty good for the Panthers. Not too bad, man. Bryce Young threw for 178 yards, but yeah, that pick at the end really sealed the deal. Baker Mayfield had 202 yards and a touchdown. He threw a pick, but again, he was able to at least get on the board through the pass. Rachaad White had a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard had 2 touchdowns in terms of running backs. I don't know who Mingo is for the Panthers, but shout out to him. He had 6 catches for 69 yards, while frickin' Mike Evans, 7 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. We're looking at a damn near 30-point fantasy performance for him this week. There were a lot of really big performances, man. This was a pretty offensive week for football, if I have to say so myself. Yeah, man. Man, the Niners with an ass whooping on the Eagles here. I thought this was going to be a close game, but no, it was over 3 touchdown difference. Jesus, man. San Francisco's Brock Purdy throws 4 touchdown passes as the 49ers thump and injured Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles, they win by 23. Deebo Samuel talked so much smack after last season's NFC Championship game that box score almost needed a double check to confirm that. Yes, the Eagles did indeed lose to the 49ers did indeed lose to the Eagles. Yeah, Purdy and Deebo just went crazy. 3 touchdowns for Deebo. What a fucking goat. Really helped me win my fantasy week. Juwan Jennings got in the end zone. It's been a while since we've really seen him get a touchdown grab. Yeah, Deebo is just insane. A lot of fights this game. Obviously, the tempers were flaring. There was that whole Dre Greenlaw situation. I don't really think he should have got ejected. I think the guy that wasn't in the game should have just been kicked out. I don't know. It is what it is. Eagles fans will dick ride and say something different, but yeah. Brock Purdy, 19 for 27, 314 yards, 4 touchdowns. All 3 things in offense. I mean, rushing, you get Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Receiving, you get Deebo, 4 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. This man averaged 29 yards a catch, dude. What a game for Deebo. I mean, this was a really good game just offensively for both teams, I think. Well, not really for the Eagles. Of course, they couldn't get in the end zone. But, I mean, Jalen Hurts, 26 for 45, 298 yards and a touchdown. He also had a rush touchdown. A.J. Brown had 8 catches for 114 yards. I mean, for how big the point differential was, I think it was a pretty entertaining game. So, yeah, man. Brock Purdy went absolutely stupid. Jesus, man. That Niners team is something different. They're something serious. I don't know. Next, we have the Browns and the Rams. This is the last game we're going to talk about until the Monday night game later in the evening. I don't know. Matthew Stafford throws 3 touchdown passes as the Rams win their 3rd straight. They win by 17 points, I believe, over the Browns. And yeah, the Rams and the Packers are kind of in that similar situation. They've been streaking, trying to make a playoff run. The playoff picture is going to be super close by the end of the season. Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams, though, have shown since coming off their bye week that this might not be another rebuilding season after all. This might be a playoff push. Like, you never know. Cooper Kupp had a touchdown. Him and Puka it's just a great tandem. It's just a great And then obviously you get like Tutu Atwell, and you have Tyler Higbee to throw the ball to. I don't know why I should have been closing that all the way a long time ago, but John Johnson gets revenge with a pick. He played his former team. Interesting storyline there. I don't know who the hell Harrison Bryant is. Myles Garrett lost his helmet. It's kind of a funny moment. People are memeing it. I don't know. Amari Cooper took a huge hit. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know if he ended up coming back in the game. But Joe fucking Flacco's their quarterback. I mean, 23 for 44, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, though. And, I mean, Matthew Stafford had probably one of his better games in a little bit. 22 for 37, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams had a rush touchdown. Elijah Moore had 4 catches for 83 yards. He had a pretty good game in place of Amari Cooper. Still got their ass whooped, but... I mean, yeah, Puka Nacua, 4 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. Again, just an amazing rookie campaign for him, and that's all I have. I'm going to go get some homework done, get some lunch, go to my classes for the day, and yeah, I'll see you guys for the NBA recap. This video will be posted Tuesday morning. Yo, we are here with the Monday night game. We are here with the Bengals and the Jaguars. Talk about that. We got an OT game. I'm actually really impressed with how this game went. Jake Browning steals the spotlight as the Bengals stun the Jaguars by 3 in OT. Trevor Lawrence injures his ankle. Hopefully he is okay. That is a huge loss for this team. They need him. And especially, we're talking about a team that's looking to possibly make a playoff push. Jake Browning insists his first career start was a real surprise. Everyone else would disagree. So, yeah. Evan McPherson hit the walk-off field goal. Money Mack has had a couple of big kicks in his career. Yeah, man, Trevor Lawrence, he did not look happy. Yeah. Jake Browning had a rush touchdown. So did Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, man. Bengals tried to do like a trick play, backfired, but what a damn game for Jake Browning, I think is his name, right? 32 for 37, 354 yards, threw for a touchdown. Incredible. T-Law, before he got hurt, he played great. 22 for 29, 258 yards, 2 tutties. Travis Etienne got in the end zone. Joe Mixon got in the end zone twice. This was a really good game. Jamar Chase had 11 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown, while Evan Ingram got in the end zone himself. This exceeded expectations. This was actually a really good game. Pretty solid week of football. We can kind of talk about some of next week's matchups. Haven't really done this before, but I mean, Colts-Bengals should be interesting. Jaguars-Browns. We have the Rams-Ravens. That should be interesting. Seahawks-Niners should be solid. Bills-Chiefs are playing next week. Eagles-Cowboys obviously is going to be probably the biggest game of the week. So, yeah, I'm out, guys. I know I didn't really talk about this game as in depth as you wanted me to. I watched a decent amount of it. I got to go to bed, though. It's late.